Okay, a very good evening to you all. My name is Mr. Satmer Dapel, and I will be your instructor for the CISCO CCNA training track. Particularly, I'll be focusing on CCNA 1 and then CCNA 2, but maybe part of CCNA 2. Another instructor will be coming in to take in from the remaining part of CCNA 2 and CCNA 3. So within this period, I would love us to understand each other and participate in this training so that at the end of it, we will have a robust session. First of all, I have muted everyone. I will unmute you when we begin the interactive session, time that I expect you to ask your questions. So I will unmute you so that you can be able to ask your question. But before then, I want to formally welcome you to this training session. I can assure you, we work together. We are going to have a very smooth ride through our training program. There are some few rules that I would like us to establish and agree upon so that we can have an understanding. First of all, at the end of each class, I will be taking an attendance poll. I will just generate the poll and then you will see it on your device. You're supposed to select present and I will now take in your details. But for you to be able to have that, you need to check your naming convention on your device. So if I check the users now, I see some people are using numbers as their names. Some people are using abbreviations as their names. So please, I will advise that you can go and edit your naming convention on this particular app, Zoom app, so that it will carry your name as you would want it to appear on your attendance. So each day we have a session, there will be an attendance just maybe in the middle or before the end of the class, we will have an attendance. Then another thing I would like us to also agree on is our schedule in timing. Like I posted on the WhatsApp group, I apologize. I have some other engagements within the other periods, like 8 to 10, and then earlier on within the week. So my available time is 7 to 9, but having considered all our complaints and concerns, we're going to make it 1 hour, 30 minutes. But today's class is just going to be introductory class. So within the 1 hour or less, we should be done. But from next class, it's going to be 1 hour, 30 minutes class. I intend that within the week, once I'm able to clear my schedule, I'm going to be able to pick a time that is convenient in the mornings, either 10 to 12 or 9 to 11, depending on my schedule. Then I will let the class know. So regarding our timing, I want to appeal with you. I'll try my best to give you the best within the time that we have. So that is that. And then on the WhatsApp group, I'm going to be locking the WhatsApp group. I will only be opening the WhatsApp group when the need arises. Probably there's something we need to be discussing, or I need feedback, or I need input from you, then I will unlock the WhatsApp group. So the reason I am locking it now, maybe after this class, the reason I'm locking it is because I know that there are persons that may not have time to be going through all the conversations. And so we don't want them to be missing out in very important notices. So once in a while, I'll be dropping your information on the WhatsApp, maybe assignment or class schedule or information that you may need. So once I drop it, you should be able to see it. And then if you have any discussion, you could send me a message. However, instead of private chatting me, I will let you know how you are going to reach out to me when you have a challenge. I know you have a WebEx platform, so I'm going to create a group discussion session on WebEx. So if you have any conversation you want to go ahead, you can just engage on WebEx. But in the meantime, the WhatsApp group I'll be using to be disseminating urgent and important information that we all need to know. Okay. I've also notified you that I have created a particular YouTube link, YouTube channel for the purpose of this class. So I will be recording each of our sessions, and after the session, I will be dropping the sessions on that YouTube link. So like, for instance, that of today, after today, I would be uploading the session on the YouTube link. So for those that probably may have network connectivity issue and are unable to attend the class, or those that have power related issue and are able to attend the class, you may always follow it up on the YouTube link. But for you to not miss out any session in our discussion, once you go to the YouTube channel, it will be good for you to just subscribe. And if you listen to any session and you have questions regarding the topic, you can just put it under the comment section in the YouTube, type in your question, and then I will be able to respond to you based on that particular channel. So on that YouTube channel, that will be it. Now, very, very important that you know, this class is a foundational class for those that are going into pure networking and cloud computing, and especially those that may be going into cybersecurity. By the time you go for your cybersecurity training class, there are certain topics that will not be discussed. It will be assumed that you have already discussed it in this class. It is assumed that you have already gotten all the knowledge that is required in this class. So once you go to cybersecurity or you go to cloud computing, once it gets to those topics, the instructors in those classes will just skip it and then move ahead. So I implore you to actually try your best to be very participatory, very engaging, and to try your best to understand. If there are areas of doubt or areas you're having challenge, do well to reach out to me always in the comment section on that YouTube channel so that I will not miss out your discussion. So if you are asking a question on a particular chapter, let it be on that recording so that I will be able to relate to it. So that being said, we will be having a lot of lab activities in this course. And we may not have enough time to cover in detail all the lab activities and all the class engagements. So while I try to give you all that you need, you also need to be up and doing. In other words, I am going to be giving you assignments, okay? And once I give you an assignment, I will give you a timeline for you to submit the assignment. And I hope that once we give an assignment, you'll be able to work on the assignment and submit back. So we'll be doing a lot of practicals and we'll be using a simulation software called Packet Tracer. If you are aware of Packet Tracer, that would be great. If you are not aware of Packet Tracer, then I will introduce you to it when we begin our classes and you will get to know. I think I've also done a recording on Packet Tracer. If I will check, if I do have, I will send it to you. Now, I understand that there are some of you that this is your first engagement when it comes to networking class. you are absolute beginners and absolute novice when it comes to networking. In my welcome message, I had sent you a YouTube link of a recording I've done for the network basics for beginners. So if you have not watched it, I would advise you to go and watch it. You can check the WhatsApp group for it. I will still drop the link for those who probably may have missed it. So you can watch it. I am not done with that recording. That class for network beginners for basics is a particular class that I am taking for another session for different set of people. So, but because I keep the recordings, I will also share it with you. So as I take those classes with them, you'll be able to follow if you so wish. Okay. Now, like I said earlier on, I will need your cooperation for the personal efforts that you are going to put. I am going to do my best, but I expect that you also do your best. I'll try to be on time to our classes, unless maybe I have a major challenge that I may be having difficulty. But if I don't have, then I expect that we're going to meet over there in the class in time. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to go through an overview of the topics that we are going to cover. But before I go through the overview, there are materials for this particular class that I will be sharing with you. I have sent you the link. It's going to be on OneDrive. You can click the link that I have sent to you and you'll be able to access those materials, okay? You'll be able to access those materials straight away. But if for any reason you are having challenge, you will let me know once I open the mic. You will let me know so that we can be able to rub minds to know. Part of the materials that I have dropped for you include the packet tracer lab activities. For this particular class, we have an activity, lab activities on packet tracer, about 33 lab activities that we're going to be focusing on. And then we'll have modules, about 17 modules we're going to cover for this course. So you see that this course is loaded and it's a hands-on course and we're going to be doing a lot of hands-on activity. But before we do the hands-on activity, you need to understand the theoretical aspect. Why am I saying so? Because you are being trained as instructors, not as students. And an instructor is expected to understand comprehensively. Because if you don't understand, there is high chance that you will not be able to convey the right knowledge to your students. And so you need to know it very well, both theoretical and hands-on. So we're going to be looking at that. Now, as regards the course overview, let me just share. I'm sure you're already used to NetAcad platform. Since you are used to NetAcad platform, it will be easy. For those of you who have not been enrolled, I had already sent you an enrollment link where you can enroll yourself. So please, you try your possible best to get yourself enrolled. So let me share my screen. All right. So let me go back. The course that you guys are taking is CCNA 1, and it's an instructor training course. Now, in this particular course, let's just go briefly through the topics that we're going to be covering. We're going to be looking at the module 1, network today, okay? And we'll be asking why should we take this module? And we'll also we'll look at the concept of packet tracer, the logical view, and the physical mode as well. All right. So we'll be looking at how network affects our lives. We'll be looking at network components. We'll be looking at network representation and topologies. We'll be looking at common types of network, internet connections, reliable networks, network trends, network security, the IT professional. And at the end of this module 1, there is a free quiz which you are supposed to do. This quiz is going to now give a background to your understanding of the course, okay? And you are free to do the quiz as multiple as possible. Then we will go to module 2. We'll look at basic switch and end device configuration. So at this module, we're going to start looking at some basic configuration. And we'll be looking at introduction to that. Then we'll be looking at the CISCO iOS access. iOS means Internet-Work Operating System. So we'll be looking at this. Then iOS navigation. Then we'll be looking at the command structure. Then we'll be looking at basic device configuration. Then we'll look at how to save your configuration. We'll be looking at ports and addresses. We'll be looking at configuring IP addresses and then verify connectivity. After that, there is a quiz for you to do. There will be a quiz for you to do for module 2, okay? So you will do the quiz for module 2. After module 2, we'll be looking at module 3, which is talking about protocols and models. Protocols and models. And in this, we'll be understanding the concept of network protocols, and then we'll look at the OSI models and the TCP/IP model, the reference models. Very, very important. In fact, it's like one of the core aspects of CCNA, or understanding the concept of networking. So this is very important. So we'll be looking at the roles, we'll be looking at the protocols, we'll be looking at the protocol suites, we'll be looking at standards, organizations, then we'll be looking at the reference models, then data encapsulation, then data access. Then after which, then you will now take your quiz for module 3, okay? After you have done module 1, 2, and 3, then you would be able to do the checkpoint basic exam, okay? The checkpoint basic exam now will be recorded in your grade book. The other quizzes are basically there to prepare you for this checkpoint exam. And this checkpoint exam is going to be covering from module 1 to 3, all right? After you are done with that, then we will go to module 4. Module 4, remember in module 3, we were able to look at the protocols reference models, all right? And the OSI models, we have about 7 of it. We have layer 1 through to 7, physical layer up to application layer. So in the physical layer, we're going to be looking at the purpose of the physical layer. We'll be looking at the characteristics, the physical layer characteristics. We'll be looking at copper cabling. We'll be looking at UTP cabling, that is how to crimp. This is where you want to look at crimping your cables and cable configuration. Then we'll be looking at fiber optic cabling. Then we'll be looking at wireless media, after which we'll look at your, you'll write a quiz for that module 4. Okay. Then you will go to module 5, where we will talk about number system. And the number system will be focusing on binary numbers and then hexadecimal numbers. Our attention will be going in the conversion, how you can convert from binary to hexadecimal and vice versa. All right, so we'll be looking at that. After which you write your module 5 quiz. Then we'll go to the data link layer. So you see from the physical layer, the next layer of the OSI model is the data link. So we'll be looking at the purpose of the data link layer, the concept of topologies, data link frame, after which you will now write another quiz. Then we'll go to module 7. Module 7, we'll be looking at Ethernet switching. And under Ethernet switching, we'll focus on Ethernet frames, and then Ethernet MAC addresses, then the MAC address table, then switch speeds and forwarding methods. Those are what we'll be looking at in Module 7. After which you write the Module 7 quiz, then you write the checkpoint exam for Module 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you see the checkpoint exams are going to be recorded in your grade book, and they will count on your overall weighted points when you will be graduating, okay? Then Module 8, we'll be looking at the network layer. The network layer will concentrate on the characteristics of network layer. Then we will introduce the concept of IP version 4 packet and IP version 6 packets. Then how a host routes and introducing the concept of routing. After that, then we'll be looking at the quizzes for Module 8. Then we'll go to another very important core aspect of networking, which is the IP addressing. All right, we'll be looking at IP address, but here is IP address resolution. We'll be looking at MAC and IP address resolution protocol. Then we'll look at basic router configuration. Then you will look at the checkpoint exam. But in the router configuration, we'll now learn how to configure initial router settings. Then we'll configure interfaces. We'll configure the default gateway, and we'll do a quiz. Then we will write another checkpoint exam. Then we'll go to the concept of IP addressing. So you see the two major cardinal aspects of CCNA 1 is understanding the protocol suites. That is the reference model, the OSI models that we're talking about, and then the concept of IP addressing for both IP address version 4 and IP address version 6. So in IP version 4, in module 11, we'll be looking at the IP version 4 address structure. We'll be looking at the concept of unicast, broadcast, multicast. Then we'll look at types of IP version 4 addresses. Then we'll look at network segmentation. That's where we look at the concept of subnetting. All right, there's subnet IP version 4, that's still subnetting. So network segmentation introduces us to concept of VLANs, VLANs. And then here we'll look at IP version 4 subnetting. Then subnet is /16 and is /8 prefix. We'll look at that. Then we'll look at the concept of VLSM, then structured design, and then the quiz. So we may not be able to cover all this in 1 or 2 classes. So we may just spread it a little so that we will be able to understand. I don't want to rush you, but I want to give you the basic that you need to understand while you carry out your own personal reading. So in module 12, we'll be looking at IP version 6 addressing. And for us to understand that, we'll look at the concept of IP version 4, and then IP version 6 address representations, IP version 6 address types. We'll be looking at the GUA, the LLA static configuration. You want to find out what are they. We will find out that. Then dynamic addressing for IP version 6 GOAs, dynamic addressing for IP version 6 LLAs. Then we'll look at multicast addressing, then how to subnet an IP version 6 network. After that, you take a module quiz. Then we go to version 13, module 13, which is ICMP. It's usually a very short module, so maybe on that time, we may merge it with 13 and 14 or so, depending on how the class goes. So we'll be looking at the concept of ICMP messages and then ping and trace tests. All right, the module. Then after that, we write another checkpoint exam. Then we go to module 14. Under module 14, we'll look at transport layer. And in transport layer, for those who may be interested in cybersecurity, your interests are going to focus on the network layer and the transport layer. Then you now look at the other layers that are up over there. But particularly network layer, transport layer, that is where most of these security things happen. Then you now go to the application layer up there. Okay, so TCP overview, UDP overview, port numbers, TCP communication process, reliability and flow control, UDP communication, and then the module quiz. Then module 15 talks about the application layer, and we'll be looking at application, presentation, and the session layer all together because they are different layers. So we'll look at them together. They are similar. Okay. Then we'll look at the concept of peer-to-peer, web and email protocols, IP addressing services, file sharing services. Then you have a module quiz, right? After which there's another checkpoint network exam. Then module 16 talks about network security fundamentals. That is another area that those taking security have to take serious. Network security fundamentals. We'll look at the concept of security threats and vulnerabilities, network attacks, network attack mitigations, device security. Then you have a quiz. Then after which we will learn how to build a very small network, the devices, small network applications and protocols, then large scale to large networks, verify connectivity, host and iOS commands, troubleshooting methodologies, then troubleshooting scenarios. All right. So after that, then you will now write that checkpoint exam. After that checkpoint exam, then you will do the final CCNA exams. And in the final exams, there is what we call the practice packet tracer exam. There's practice final exam. Then there's practice packet tracer exam. Then after that, you do the final, right? Since you have done the practice, then you do the final, the course final exam. Then you will do the end of course survey. Then you will do the final skills exam. So you can see that this course is heavy, absolutely heavy, and it's loaded. If you are new, like I said, you don't need to worry so much because we will try to make it as understandable as possible, but you may wish to be following up with the network beginners class because how I take that class is I assume that the participants are elementary. And so I take that class like that. But for this class, I will assume that you have some small basic knowledge, but I'll try to break it down for those that are still going to have some challenges. All right. Now, you will have access to your gradebook, which I know you will have. And in your gradebook, you are going to have the checkpoints exam here. Checkpoint 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you will have like, let me see if I can scroll to get more. Sorry. Okay. All right, so there's a checkpoint exam here. Then you will have your average. Then you will have your practice skills assessment gradebook. Then you will have the final exam. Then you will have the final packet tracer exams, and then the final skills equipment exam, and then the end of course. Then you will have your total average. Now, the pass mark for this course is 70, all right? The pass mark for the course is 70. So for you to get 70 and the total average, you must make sure that in all your assessments, you score nothing less than 70. 70 is usually the pass mark we give for students. Instructors, we usually give a pass mark of 80. But I am announcing 70 for now, pending when I get the approval for 80, because I've written to recommend the pass mark of 80 for all participants. So if I get the approval for 80, then in our class, I'm going to let you know that the pass mark will be 80, because 80 pass mark is for instructors, 70 is the general pass mark for students. So that is that. Then I'm going to drop, you may want to now gain access to resources of the course. I dropped a link for that, but in case you want to have it directly, you can just come here. Under course outline, you see resources here. If you click resources here, you'll see all the resources that you may need for this course. You can see them here. You can see all the course, the materials that you may need. They've been uploaded here. You can just download and then play around with them. But for the purpose of this class, I'm sure some may be new to this. They may not know how to go about it. I've already downloaded. Let me share my screen again so that you will see what I mean. Come, share. Okay. All right. So I want to believe you can see my screen now. So I've created instructor training resource and a folder. And in this folder, you have the PowerPoints that I'm going to be using, which you're going to use. So module 1 down to module 17. These are the PowerPoints. So as an instructor, you will have those particular materials as well. And then you will also have access to the class activity, that's the packet tracers. These are the packet tracer activities. There are about 33 of them, and you're supposed to finish or complete all the packet tracer activities that we have here for each of the modules. So as we move to each of the modules, I'll be showing you, we'll do some of our classes, we'll do the lab activities together. And some of it, I will just do maybe 1 or 2, then I'll give you the remaining as homework. So for each of the modules. So if I give you as homework, I expect that you go and do it. And then we have another set of materials in Word. These are like the lab activities also. We have a lot of it. So you see that this course is majorly a hands-on related course. And I expect that we are going to work together to achieve that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to unmute your mics. If you have a question or you have an observation or you have a comment you will make, you will have to raise your electronic hand. Then I will permit you to be able to unmute yourself. But please, for those who are joining us a bit late, you need to change your naming convention of your names, because we are going to take attendance, so that once you take the attendance, it's going to appear with your name. So if you have a question, please kindly raise your electronic hand so that I'll be able to acknowledge you. Any question? All right, so I have Mr. Israel Ojo. You can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Good evening, sir, Mr. Dappel.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity. I deeply appreciate you, sir.
You're welcome.
So, based on what you said last, like you said, it's hands-on practicals. So we really appreciate more of it, but the challenge we'll be having is, I don't know if we can reach you when maybe we're in the process of doing some of the practical work and we're having challenges. During the class, we can't just say, okay, we want to start asking questions we were encountering problems with from the assignment. But maybe while on the assignment, can we just send you messages and maybe to your mail or so that we can, within few hours, we receive reply and we'll continue all of our works, since it's hands-on practicals. so that we'll not be disturbing the classes. That's my question, sir.
All right, so thank you very much. Now, like I said, I'll be, for each of the class that we have, I'm going to be uploading it on the YouTube. So if you have comments, a question, you just go to the comment section, type the question, then I will get a notification. But during the hands-on activity, if I am doing some configurations or teaching some things and you have a question, you are free to interrupt me and ask your question. Okay, so if there's something you don't understand, it's always good to ask. And that's why I always encourage my students to always read ahead of the class, do the activities ahead of the class. I'll give you all that you need to ensure that you are able to do it. So if you have a question, then during the class, it will be easier for you to be able to mention it. All right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So also, sir,
Yes.
concerning the hands-on, you said you will be while doing some of the practicals. Are we going to follow you while in the class, or we are just to watch? Maybe after the class, then we will now do ours, so that we'll prepare ourselves ahead of maybe when we want to do that.
Okay, this is an online class, all right? So there are certain things that we may not be able to get 100%. So ideally, on a physical session, we're supposed to be doing it together with you, and then where you have problems, we work together. But since it's an online class, I'm giving you the lab activities to go home and do it. When I come to class, I'm going to run the activities with you. If there's an area you don't understand, you ask questions. But if for any reason you did not run the lab activity before the class, it is still okay. After I have done the activities and you are done, if you have a problem again, you can always chat me up on the comment section. Then I will now respond to you and guide you through on how to go about it. That's I think the best way to go about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
All right. The next person is Akamo A. Bola say. Sorry about the name. Akamo AA. Can you ask your question?
Yeah, good evening. My question is on the slides. Is it possible we access the slides offline without having to be logging in to the internet all the time before accessing the slides?
Yes, I have dropped you a link to download all the slides. I've dropped a link where you can access the slides, download it. Also, you can access the packet tracer and download it. Access all the class materials and download. So if you check the WhatsApp group, there's a link that I have dropped for all of this. You can just click the link and then you can download the materials you need. Thank you. The next person is, okay, there was someone that I saw the hand, but it just went down. You can raise it again. So now I have Dr. Stephen Oshwo.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
My question is still almost aligned with the first, with the last person that asked a question. The packet tracer, can it be offline? Because most of the time when you want to run it, you must link to the net card.
Yes, the packet tracer is offline. The NETA card is just when you need to log in for the first time. So for the first time, when you log in, there is a checkbox where it says that log in for the next 3 months. So once you log in like that, you are good. For the next 3 months, you don't need to log into your NETA card again. So you run the packet tracer activities offline without need of internet. Okay. So maybe when we come to do any of our sessions tomorrow, I think tomorrow, no, our class is Thursday. After today, then it's Thursday. So maybe when we come for our class on Thursday, you will be able to see how we do that.
when you hello?
Yes, sir.
So like they're like still on the packet tracer. So we have two options. Like when you open it for the first time, you have network academy option and you have skill for all option.
Yes.
Which is the which one is the right option to pick?
You can use Network Academy, you can use Skill for All. All of it will bring out the same login details. But if for any reason you try Network Academy and you are unable to log in very well, just click the Skill for All. It will still take you to the proper login page, and then you'll be able to log in. So whichever you use, you will be redirected appropriately.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. The next person is Enyetere Ambitumi. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks so much for the introduction.
You're welcome.
And I just want to ask quickly, the assignments, the hands-on labs and all that, I believe it's the same one that we have on Net Academy that you still want to post on OneDrive?
Yes.
And if that is the case, sorry, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so and if that is the case, uploading it too, I think it's just a suggestion anyway. If we probably upload on Net Academy as well, if it's possible, that we'll keep everything on Net Academy to make things easy. I think because I have issues with my OneDrive account.
Okay.
So although I saw a link on that introductory note that you sent, which gives us another access, I think, without even having to bother our own OneDrive accounts.
Yes.
I think I saw something like that.
That's
So I'm just thinking if it's possible to just do everything on NetAcad and just move on.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's very, very possible. It's very
Okay.
possible. So if you still have challenge, I will always be available as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then the next I have is Adigwe Ifechuku Anthony. Anthony Ifechuku.
Hello, a very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Loud and clear.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you loud and clear.
The network is so bad here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
My question is still on the packet tracer. You know, when we had a course on IT Essentials, there was this practical that had to do with the packet tracers, and many of us downloaded it then. So do we need to still download another one, or that one is okay for the same purpose, for this purpose, I mean to say?
No, you don't.
I have downloaded it before, it's in my system.
Yes, since you have downloaded Packet Tracer is in your system, that means you are in the right track. All I'm saying is that there are lab activities that needs to be done on Packet Tracer. So those lab activities is what you may need to download. The software, since you have done it in IT Essentials, that is great. So you don't need to download it again. The one you need to download is the class lab activity. So for each topic to cover, I will let you know the lab activities that you need to work on.
Okay, sir. Well understood. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome. Right. So I have some comments, some on the comment section. Someone says, "Evening, sir. How do we get change the time, the naming convention?" Okay, the naming convention is on your Zoom app. All right, is on your Zoom app. I don't know whether you're using a phone or a desktop or a laptop or so, but on your Zoom app where you see your profile or you see your picture or you see that image, you can just click it or right click it, then you go to the rename, just say rename, okay? Another person says, you directed us to read ahead. Is it possible to write the checkpoint exams at the end of each module when any one of us have completed the module? Yes. What I intend to do is that in this kind of training, I know that all fingers are not equal. Some are faster than others, some are slower, and others are average. So I'm not going to, those who are very fast, I'm not going to hold you down, okay? I'm going to enable the activities ahead of time so that if you are fast enough, you can do all your assessment and then that will be good, all right? But the final exams or the checkpoint exams, I will just be putting them at a particular time frame. Then the final exams will all write it within a particular period when the whole class is ready, okay? So that by the time we're done, we can complete the class and then send you your certificates, okay? Then someone said, I noticed that these modules have exams, they are locked. Yes, the exams are locked because I locked them up. And the idea is that we're supposed to move in pace. But like I said, I'm going to open it up for those who would wish to move very fast. But I will only open it up at the first week. So each week I'm going to open maybe 1 or 2 checkpoint exams so that those who want to ride very fast can go ahead and do so. Okay. So I think those are the comments that I have and the questions that I've received today. So I'm going to now enable your attendance. So you would have to look at your app. Let me see if I can enable it now. I'm launching. All right. So if you look at your app, you should be able to see attendance, NBTE CCNA1 network class. You'll see some notification. Very good. So I can see some people have started signing in their attendance. All right. So please do well to sign the attendance. Okay. Okay, so I see while the attendance is going on, someone has raised their hand. All right. I have Farao Abubakar Abdullahi. Please, can you ask your question? After that, then we have Israel.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for this class. I mistakenly canceled the attendance while it was sent. I don't know if it can be resent for us to sign the attendance. Thank you.
Just go back to your notification point. You will see it. I don't need to resend it. It's live now. I have not ended it. When I sent it all at once as a pop-up. I can't send it as individual, but you can be able to re-access it. All right, the next person, Israel Ojo. I still see your hand.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
We believe this class is going to be a promising class based on how you have arranged all your modules and how the processes has been going, and we are happy with it, sir.
Thank you.
Notwithstanding, sir, you know we are on CCNA1. Now, when we finish CCNA1, are we moving straight to CCNA2? Because based on what we are seeing 3 processes. So are we moving straight to that, or we are going to, different people are leaving to other classes? So we know what we are planning for, sir.
Okay. Now, by virtue of the way the training is planned, CCNA1 is a prerequisite for those that are going for cybersecurity and those that are going for cloud computing and those that are continuing in the networking course. So it's a prerequisite, okay, for CCNA1. However, I highly recommend that you still go ahead to take CCNA2 because after CCNA1, immediately we will continue with CCNA2. We'll immediately continue with CCNA2. So I highly recommend that, that you will join the CCNA2 class and continue. because the content of CCNA 2 will also help you greatly for those who are either going to cloud computing or cybersecurity, especially those in cybersecurity. So if you can manage the two, fine. But if you cannot manage the two, then you focus on your own training. But after CCNA 1, we will immediately go into CCNA 2.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. I have another question. Somebody, while we're on the major group chat, somebody stated something. So I said, I'll ask the question since you have brought that information for us. The person said that most of CCNA 1, 2, 3 is basically and fully more on networking. And based on what we have, we say networking and cloud computing. So that thing is confusing and conflicting, but I said you'll be the best person to answer us for that. So this network CCNA we are on now, is it going along with networking and cloud computing, sir?
Yes. It's going together.
Okay, okay. I think it's helpful now. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then I have Saka Tajuddin or Larewaju. You can unmute yourself. Those who have not signed their attendance, please, you can go ahead and sign. We have just about 1 minute, 30 seconds to sign the attendance.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Sir, I want to ask that at this CCNA 1, 2, and 3, are we not using NetaCard again, or we are still using it?
You are using NetaCard. You are still going to use NetaCard.
Okay, sir. Okay. On the NetaCard now, which area are we going to see all the modules you mentioned?
I don't understand. For CCNA 1?
Yes, sir.
I just showed you guys now. We just did. Weren't you in the class?
The network was off when I was trying to come back.
All right, no problem. I will drop the recording for this class, and then you can watch it on YouTube.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. The next person is Agu.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Sincerely, we just know that the days ahead will be great.
Thank you.
Yes. I just when you said we should sign our attendance, I was actually trying to see how I can navigate into my Zoom app so that I'll be able to sign the attendance. But I'm a bit confused. That was why I raised up.
Okay, all right. So it's all right. So I'm sure you have signed your attendance now.
Okay, no, not really. I'm still trying to navigate.
There are 3 dots. I don't know whether you're using a phone or a desktop, but there's towards the end, you will see some 3 dots where it talks about more. If you click it, it will take you to where it says polls. All right. Where you polls or quizzes, then you just click it and you'll be able to sign it.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. All right, so we are almost done with the attendance. Those who have not signed, you have less than 60 seconds to sign. I have 83 people that are present, but only 76 have signed the attendance. Once I end the poll, you will not be able to sign the attendance, please.
Awesome.
And once you sign the attendance, do not exit. If you exit, it will automatically sign you off the attendance. So just maintain in the class until I end the poll, then you can be able to exit.
No, not connecting the hotspot now.
Karim Ishola, you raised your hand.
Hello, good day, sir.
Yes.
Hello, good day, sir.
Good day. Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And I can see that I've already submitted my attendance,
Yeah.
but at the poll, I cannot see that. Does that mean that once you have already signed, submit your presence, does that mean that you cannot see the poll again at your own end?
I'm going to publish the list. Once I'm done, you're going to see if your name has been signed or not. Okay, right now I will not be able to know until I end the poll. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. It's okay, sir.
Then finally, Asapa Sunday. Okay, so let me end the poll. Sorry, let me download. Let me view your browser. Share.